Who's here? All of us. Wait. You're telling me there's a million Skrulls walking amongst us right now? Have you lost your reptilian ass mind? I sent out the call, and every Skrull that isn't in Emperor George.
Emperor George. Like Will said, King George. Now, I'm going to start looking into that. But you know what was weird? When I read that, and I started thinking about, like, what could that possibly mean? Why is it the thought came to my mind? And how do you say this? Not even, how do I say this? The thought came to mind of St. Patrick. Okay? Everybody wants to talk about St. Patrick chased out the snakes in Ireland. What if it wasn't the snakes he chased out of Ireland? Because everyone will refute that. Oh, there's no snakes in Ireland. What if it wasn't the snakes? Because remember, this is during the time that King James is writing, having books written about how to deal with necromancy. I mean, there's a lot about St. Patrick that we don't understand. For instance, they say he's not a Jew, but in his confessions, he's saying that he has the curse of Deuteronomy on him. I mean, I say the words Deuteronomy, but he's saying he has the curse that was put upon the Most High's people to be scattered to the four corners of the earth. Now, why would a non-Hebrew people say that during this time? It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, this is around the same time we're having Columbus, right, do this whole, I'm going to sail to Asia to look for Jerusalem or Jerusalem, right? No, St. Patrick was not Jewish. So listen to this then.
So in this poem, the Dean Cecht, an ancient Irish god of healing and the chief physician to the gods, does some serpent slaying of his own. This poem dates from around the 11th or 12th century, but the story would have been around a lot longer than that. And in it, it talks about how the Barrow River was made. And the Barrow is known as one of the three sisters, along with the rivers Suir and Nore. And the Dean Cecht poem outlines how he destroyed three serpents he found in the heart of the warrior Mechi and threw their ashes into the river Barrow.
So
do you want to read this part?
I think we should read this part. I think it's
well, it's very long, but
it is. Okay. Sure, go for it.
The Barrow, enduring its silence that flows through the folk of old Alba, a labour it is to learn the cause whence is called Barrow, flower of all famous names. No motion in it made the ashes of Mechi, the strongly smitten. The stream made sodden and silent past recovery the fell filth of the old serpent. 3 turns the serpent made. It sought out the soldier to consume him. It would have wasted by its nature all the kin of the indolent hosts of ancient Erin. Therefore the Dean Cecht slew it. There was rude reason for clean destroying it, for preventing it forever from wasting above every resort, from consuming utterly. Known to me is its grave where he cast it, a tomb without walls or roof tree. Its evil ashes, no ornament to the region, found silent burial in noble Barrow. So, in the prose version of the story, Mechi is the son of the Morrigan, a goddess of war, sovereignty, and possibly death. He has 3 hearts, and in each heart contains a serpent. So the story diverges from the poetic version in that it has a different, similarly named character, Mac Cecht, who kills Mechi and thus the snakes, and he throws the ashes of the young warrior into the river Barrow. So the barrow is known as the burba in Old Irish, which means boiling. And when the ashes are thrown in, the river boils. And it is written that the death of Mechi was necessary, for if the serpents lived, they would have consumed him and everything else in Ireland. So we see the number 3 is really important here. This recurs again in Irish mythology.
Now the reason I was listening to their podcast is I mean, it's a little personal. Like my first name, all right, it means nothing in English, nothing in French. I think in French it just means a town, but and to the Irish it means chief, right? It means a leader. And I looked up my sister's name, and her name goes back to the Irish as well. I don't remember what it was. It was like queen or it was princess, something like that. And we started talking to each other, like, how did we end up with Irish names? Like, but our names, are common here in North America. And it's like, how did these names end up with us in the South, right? Well, there's a history. We found out that the quote unquote Irish came and lived lived amongst the Choctaws. So we think that's how the names became related to us. Because now because I named my son, one of my sons, I gave him the name. But I'm the 4th one to have this name and to carry it on. So it's been in our family's thing for quite some time. But I thought that was interesting, and I started looking into, because Irish mythology, and I was finding stuff that was interesting. Like they talk about like at least 3 gods, 2 female goddesses who come out of Babylon, and the Irish, they're similar, goddess to the gods from Babylon, and they believe that there's a connection there. They can't prove the connection because the names are different, but the attributes or what they're saying are close enough. And some of the names are close in pronunciation, but they're not like, it's not like the same God's name is in Ireland that's over in Babylon. But they're saying that the names are close enough in spelling phonetically where they look like, okay, these are the same ones just based off of their characteristics. So, and I was telling Arthur about that, and I'd been meaning to get back to this, and I stopped. But with Lex now digging into Babylon and showing us, not Babylon, but also the Chaldees. He's showing us the Chaldees and the connection to Ireland. I'm like, okay, let me go back and now listen to them intently, and listen to what they were saying. But it all came back up when I posted that video, and he said, King George, and my mind's like, what if that's what they're talking about with St. Patrick? That when he chased them out, this is what he was chasing out.
Christianity did actually exist in Ireland before his mission. And historical consensus seems to place this mission sometime in the 5th century CE. So Patrick was born in Britain, so the story goes, and he was abducted by Irish pirates and sold as a slave. So St. Patrick, or Patricius, as he called himself, wrote an autobiographical account of his life, which you mentioned, the Confessio.
My name is Patrick. I am a sinner, a simple country person, and the least of all believers. I am looked down upon by many. My father was Calpurnius. He was a deacon. His father was Potitus, a priest, who lived at Banavem, Tabernae. His home was near there, and that is where I was taken prisoner. I was about 16 at the time. At that time, I did not know the true God. I was taken into captivity in Ireland along with thousands of others. We deserved this because we had gone away from God and did not keep his commandments. We would not listen to our priests who advised us about how we could be saved. The Lord brought his strong anger upon us and scattered us among many nations, even to the ends of the earth. It was among foreigners that it was seen how little I was.
So Patrick was really emboldened.
So see, that's his own autobiography. His words. Why would he talk like that? So like I said, it's just something that, I can't prove it, but I'm gonna say it, and maybe eventually I'll be able to prove it in the future. So